Oh shit, 500 million. Usopp came up. The only problem, like I said, the only problem is like this was a good gag. That 500 million is a good gag, but the other gag was just crazy. It was just dumb. Anyway, we got birdcage going on. People getting slaughtered. People's lives are being lost. Dude's getting his fingers cut off. They chopped his fingers off, his toes off, nails off, nose off, anything. Anything they can cut off, they cutting off. Anyway, um, everybody finally understand what was going on. They said now we figured out what was happening to King Ruku last night. I mean that night, 10 years back. He couldn't control his movements because they can't control. They said, "Oh, we being controlled right about now." Now we see Mr. Fujitora. He's in there. He ain't got no problem. He's laying people out. Like you see, like a gravity field right around them. And people just laid out just like this. They just slumped over like that. He's laying people out, so he's all right. But you already know what it is. What I'm starting to realize is Fujitora is sort of like a real good replacement for uh, uh, Akiji. I don't know how I'm forgetting his name. Akiji, yeah. Why? Not that they're not the same, but it seems like their justice is similar. Remember, what you call him, Akainu, he's like straight up absolute justice. I'll kill you. I don't care if you're on my own side or whatever. As long as we get the job done and stop the threat, that type of thing. Um, Kizaru, he was in the middle, if you notice. Like, I don't want to do this. I might if I have to. I'm gonna go a little bit harder. He's right. He was right there in the middle. Remember when they asked him, they said, "Yo, we got to go handle this business, but we might chip up a few of our own people." He said, "Yo, just keep it at a minimum." You see what I'm saying? So he's like a balanced justice, which I think was actually the best thing, because otherwise you won't have the other justice you had, which was Akiji. He was like loose. Like he had his own thing that he was doing. He was not loyal. He was just, I want to, what am I trying to say? He'd sit there and help a prisoner knowing he shouldn't because he knows in reality it's the right thing to do. So he's the opposite of Akiji. I mean Akainu. Akainu, he don't care if he got to mess up his own people. Akiji, he's like, I got to keep my morals intact. And I got to keep things going. And that's why when Fujitora had the conversation with Doflamingo, I kind of figured it out then, where he says, "Yo, I'm gonna take Doflamingo out, even though he's supposed to be protected under the world government." That's something that Akiji would do, although their personalities don't seem to be the same. They don't seem to be the same in any other way other than just that. There's certain type of ethics in terms of justice. We need to hand out justice, but we got to discriminate. When I say discriminate means some people that look like they're not, justified might be, and we might need to make exception for that. And some people that look like they are justified may not be, like a crocodile, and we need to go ahead and make an adjustment for that. We can't just look at everything black and white. That's how he's looking at it. So it seems like they replaced it with somebody that has the same values. Okay, so anyway, Pika's moving everything around, everything. He could do anything. And you got people out there talking, "Thank God, Usopp, yada 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 yada." I told y'all they flipped on him in a minute. Anyway, we cut to one of the funniest parts of the chapter, right? They get to this part where everybody's together. Well, most of the people together, and Bartolomeo, he's like, "Who's that guy?" He's like, his nose looks like the guy from so he said it looks like the Soga King's guy, and Robin's like, "That is him." He's like, "No way." He says him and Robin are the shoot down duo. Oh man, he had a name for him and everything. Sabo's mad, and what you call him, Hack. I think his name is Hawk. I mean, I think it's pronounced Hawk, but it's spelled like Hack. Um, he's like, oh man, I can't believe this is the guy that took me out. Guess what it is? Anyway, Kingdom Mind, he talks with the Tontatas, whatever, nothing major. Seems like a lot of wasted, panels in this chapter. Like I said, the Tontata thing, that was like a wasted chapter. Then we got people going around killing each other. I think that was a waste. Not the whole thing was a waste. Maybe only 1 or 2 panels. We got like a whole page basically of it. Anyway, we cut to my man Doflamingo. He said, yo. He said, money on these motherfuckers' head. Green light on these niggas. He said, if you take them out, you get 100 million berry, depending on what star they have. Meaning, he's giving them stars based on what he considers, their threat level. Like if people look at it, it's gonna look like, wait, I think what you call him, King Riku, he ain't that strong. We know Kiro's stronger than him, so why they got him at the top spot? They're going by threat level. And to be honest, the 4 at the top, he's got them on similar ground, although I think they put King Riku first. He's number 1. And the reason why he's number 1 is because he was the old king, and he's got people that supporting him. And on top of that, with him using the birdcage thing and people finding out Doflamingo is messed up, now they're looking like, damn, King Riku, he was right that night. You know what I'm saying? And that could flip and get everybody on his side again. Remember, they used to worship, damn near worship King Riku. So he's a threat. Trafalgar Law, he knows basically Doflamingo's secrets. He's a threat. He's got a hacks ability. He's a threat. Luffy knows a lot of the stuff. Luffy has, King Haki. He's got Conqueror's Haki, so he's a threat. It's a couple other reasons, but he's a threat. Sabo's, he's chief of the fucking Revolutionary Army, and the dude he could take out one, what am I trying to say? He could take out Doflamingo's top fighters, and he's on their side. So of course he's a top threat. Next we got Zoro, Keros. Then we got Frankie, Viola, Kinemon, Nico Robin, and Rebecca. Rebecca really ain't no real major threat. Nico Robin, in terms of strength, she's not super threat, but she's with the Straw Hats. Kinemon, we know that motherfucker could fight, but in terms of Doflamingo, he ain't taking him out. Come on now. Okay, so anyway, that's pretty much how that turned out. Not a lot of people probably looking at it, why threat level ain't like that? I think King Riku ain't that strong. Don't listen to him, man. He's just going by threat level. Each of them got different information. They got different things they can do. Anyway, that instant, the people that was with Usopp, they flipped on him immediately. And then they was like, okay, we could take him out. And Usopp's on the ground. He said, oh, thank God. They ain't find out about me. Doflamingo said, and then we got the top guy on my list. He said, it's God Usopp. He called him God Usopp. I think he's doing that just to get people to really think that he's really a threat. He put 5 stars on him, meaning 500 million. And you know why he did this? It's a gag. Doflamingo's having fun with him. And the reason why he does it because Usopp took out Sugar, which messed up his whole plan and got him in this predicament anyway. So really, he just wants to see Usopp burn. That's what it really is. That's what it really is. He's just mad about it. You know what? I'm gonna put a highest bounty on him, even though I know he ain't, too big of a threat. But he the one who messed everything up. He messed everything up, messed up the whole plan, and got Doflamingo going up against Fujitora and everything now. So that's why he did that. He's mad. He's frustrated about it. Anyway, everybody split up. They got to split up because everybody's coming after them. I mean, people are coming after him in droves. Kinemon, he goes for his man. What's my man name? What's my man name? The dude that he Kanjuro. They said that he had him in this trash heap or whatever. He jumped down there. He's looking for him anyway. That's pretty much it with that. Now everybody's scattered and they looking around for him. Now we get to one part that I was kind of actually excited about. We got to see what's my man name Bartolomeo. He used a big barrier this time, and it's not the same shape. It's not a square like he's been using. So he can change the shapes, which makes him even more hacks. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it doesn't look like it's a big size limit. So who can break through this barrier? It seems like nobody can. It's got to be some kind of time limit or something, because that ability is just too much. He's knocking everybody back. Dude's a good. I mean, he's putting in work over there. He's knocking everybody out. Then we show they got Robin. She's trying to get in contact with Zoro. We see that his Den Mushi's missing the eye too. That was kind of funny. Anyway, Luffy and them, they're talking about how they got to take out Doflamingo and yada yada this, yada yada that. Rebecca finds out that Soldier was her dad, and she's like, "Oh man, I had to go to his dad in the world." Garbage stuff. Luffy says, He said, "I'm gonna kick Doflamingo's ass." You know, that type of thing. The same. We always get the same face he makes. I'm getting ready to do such and such. If this looks the same as, like, it's starting to get tired for me. Like, that looks like the same exact thing he said, you know, to who else he said it to? I think he said to, did he say, he said it a few times. Crocodile, Arlong, who else? What's my man name? The dude, Captain Morgan. What's the dude name? Captain Kuro. I think he did the same thing. Like, he did that a few times. Anyway, this was one of the big reveals about this chapter that had me like almost in goosebumps. Law said, "Yo, Doflamingo is too strong." He said, "This motherfucker is just too strong." He said the plan was not to beat him. The plan was to get Kaido to beat him. I was like, damn. So that's where Law was taking it. Like, at first I thought that he could beat Doflamingo. He never thought he could beat Doflamingo. He was willing to sacrifice himself. So the whole setup was to mess up with the smile so that Kaido can come get Doflamingo. But that shows how strong Kaido is. The Doflamingo don't want no parts of him. I'm not saying he's scared, but he don't want no part of Kaido. So then also he says, if we take out Doflamingo, Kaido's going to take us out. You understand? Which makes sense, because if Kaido's doing business with somebody and you take them out, if he doesn't take you out, that says that anybody that Kaido does business with, you can mess with them and mess up Kaido's business. He got to take them out. That way, next time he's doing business, somebody don't think, okay, I'm dealing with one of Kaido's men. I better leave them alone. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not good for business. He got a rapport to keep up. And if they and you see how hard it is fighting Doflamingo, so imagine what it's like for Kaido. And I think that Kaido, from my estimate, I think that Kaido is probably a good bit stronger than Doflamingo. Doflamingo didn't want no part of him. Although I think Doflamingo could do some damage to him. I don't think it's just going to be a flawless victory. I definitely don't think it's going to be a flawless victory. But anyway, that's pretty much it. The only thing that happens after that is Luffy jumps down with Law and Zoro, and he said, we're going to get Doflamingo. This chapter, we had some highs, we had some lows. The high, the Usopp thing, that was nice. Like I said, that was a good gag, but like I said, it's based off a bad gag. I mean, it was spring. What am I trying to say? It was a bad gag preceded it, so it's kind of lessened it for me, because I really don't want to see Usopp like this right now, because Usopp, they kind of messed him up a little bit. So I'm really not feeling that whole $500 million berry. Although I appreciate them doing something with Usopp. They had like it seemed like it was stretched out. They had like the whole people running around chopping each other up. I know I wanted to see that, but I didn't want to see 1 billion panels of it. People turning on Usopp. They did 1 billion panels of that. It seemed like some wasted pages. You understand? Like that seemed like some wasted pages. Other than that, it was a fine chapter. You know what I'm saying? We finally getting into the thick of things, and I want to see Luffy versus Doflamingo. He says he's actually going to beat Doflamingo. I'm trying to figure out how he's going to do that with that bird cage thing. And then they also say that it could last for days. So that shows how strong Doflamingo is. He keep his powers moving for days. Damn. And how deep Law actually thought of that. Law was on the suicide mission. I never thought of that. I'm gonna go ahead and give this chapter. I'm gonna say 3.5. I kind of wanted to say 4. I'm gonna say 3.5. You know, like I said, it just seemed stretched. Although we had a couple, good, parts like Bartolomeo, that was good. His fanboying session, that was actually some good comedy in there. But other than that, it seemed like it was stretched, like a waste. Like some of it just seemed wasteful. Let me go ahead and see these comments. See what y'all got in their comments. I want to see that one. Let me see that one. Let me see that one. I want to see that one. Okay. I want to know what the hell happened to Frankie. Oh yeah. They ain't show him. I don't know. He ran. He got kidnapped. By who though? All the Flamingo flunkies were like, where did this nigga go? I think maybe Frankie has a mechanism in him where he doesn't actually have to move. Remember, he's a cyborg. He probably got mechanical parts. Maybe he's got some kind of escape device or something like that. Coup-de-boo or something like that. I don't know. How much hype for Kaido is all? So much hype for Kaido. All strong is this? Yeah. Kaido's a beast. Or his eyes glued shut. My eyes are messed up, like I told you. That's why I took that hiatus. But I'll talk to y'all about that later on, on Friday. He's a Yonko. I'm thinking he was the second strongest out of the original 4. I don't know about that. I'm thinking Shanks was, after Whitebeard. Whitebeard was the shit back in the day, but he got old. Yeah. I would put Shanks above Whitebeard. The reason why is because Whitebeard got old, but I wouldn't put Shanks above Whitebeard in his prime. Right now, Kaido is probably second behind Shanks. Yeah. That makes sense. Kaido is probably second now. Yeah. If you talk about right now, yeah, that makes sense. I think it's Big Mom. I don't know about Big Mom now. I think Big Mom's probably number 3. I think Blackbeard is probably the weakest. You seen what Whitebeard did to him. He was nothing. Like he could have just got White, and Whitebeard was all chipped up, and he was messed. He was messed up before he got into a fight with what's my man name? Aki Inu. He was all messed up and old and everything else, frail and everything else, and then got beat down, and still did a number on Blackbeard. Blackbeard couldn't even lay a finger. It was going to be a flawless victory. I think the only thing that helps Blackbeard be on their level, I don't think he's in terms of strength. He just got a real strong crew. Like he's got some notable people with him. They might be only his strength, but trust me, the Yonko's people aren't as strong as we think they are. Only the top members. So he's got members that that exceed some of the Yonko's strength. On top of that, he's got multiple devil fruit powers, and he has different abilities, and he's got untapped abilities that we don't even know about. Or whatever he's got, On top of that, he already sailed pretty much the whole Grand Line. I would say that the only reason he didn't make it to, the final island, because Whitebeard didn't want to go there. That's probably the only thing he's really even worried about. So with his information, like they said with his information of the New World and the Grand Line in general, that made him formidable. So in terms of strength, I don't think he would have been at Yonko level. I'm not sure about post time skip, but before the time skip, from what we've seen, he was not at Yonko level. Period. Not under any margin. I mean, period. He just wasn't. But with the information he has and his knowledge and his experience, like he's been doing this for a long time, so he was able to match them in that respect. Okay. You're going to talk about the time Blackbeard is going to be the strongest to steal a bunch of. Yeah, he will be the strongest at some point in time, I believe. But anyway, go ahead and leave your comments. Like the video, because I can't eat. I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. And you got the power to change that. subscribe.